Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back. Today we're going to continue working on the mountain project. First things first, got to get these bins out of the way. These are all our old bins that were full of unsorted Lego. We're going to see if we need any of these for storage at home, and then whatever we don't use, we're going to donate. Okay, now we've got some extra space for more activities in here. We played a quick game of musical tables, reeling tables around. Hey, there you go. And we're going to set up the mountain now. And it's going to be pretty interesting because what we're going to try and do today is wrap around the other side. So we got this side done the other day, and we want to continue wrapping around the wood platform that we have installed right there for the upper section of the mountain. But this is going to be a little bit different because we've got to put some structures in right here. So we've got like, what, 2, 4, 6, 16 by 16s that we've got to build the structure for right there so we can continue building up. And then we need to merge this green into the foot of the mountain there, I guess. And then over here we need to create another structure as well. It's going to be like this corner, all 16 by 16 Technic panels, and then this series of 4 right there. And we're going to build up there, but the mountain is going to actually start higher here. And we'll work our way up to the wood platform. So yeah, that's what we're going to try and tackle today. We've got some rock panels left over from the orders that we placed the other day, or that we received the other day, I should say. That's all we got right now. So not as many as we need. But how many did we order, Mrs. Bricksie?
220.
220.
Corners.
220 corners.
I think 20 straight ones.
And 20 straight. So we got 220 corners on the way, which is pretty substantial. That should go a long way. It should allow us to more than complete this mountain here. We also need to start thinking about our snow line, and I've got more we're going to say about that in a little bit. Got to change it up and start finding all of our white brick. That's what Mrs. Brixie's doing right now. And we got this drawer here, and we're going to go through and extract all the white brick from our collection from all the different drawers that we have that are all broken down by size, just so we have that white brick available to us when we go about constructing the top of the mountain. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm having a hard time speaking this morning, and I'm hashtag not refilming. So yeah. Let's move the sections that we need up onto the table here and get started. There we go, everybody. There's the inside of our mountain. And this is where we need to continue building. Look at this, everybody. We filled a little nook with the laptop and some Survivor, eh? Fan favorite season. And Mrs. Brixie's building this right here, so we're transitioning from the green to the gray, and the campground is like 16 studs, and then here is where it's open, like where we have the access point, and there's a base plate below it. So we're going to build like a rock face there, and that's going to be like the foot of this mountain, and then it will continue upward. And she's working on this corner, while I'm working on this corner over here. So this is sort of a weird one, because the mountain comes around this way here, but then there's a 3 base plate platform extension that goes behind the amusement park. Wish we could just bring the whole city up here, but it's too big for that. Sometimes it's hard to visualize, but I have to have this mountain turn this way so that we can continue the mountains along here where Mrs. Brixie is. Hi. And it's a little bit strange just because there's a big gap right here, but this has to turn and just continue. So I just built this whole panel right here going up with lots of inversions to try and match the verticalness of this here. And now I can build all the way up here, and we installed the platforms so I can continue along here now and start building up here so that it matches the height of this. And I've got to make sure that this all matches up. So that's a little bit of a challenge. And then when we get around to it, you're gonna have to do the same thing here. Mrs. Brixie's gonna work her way across, and we're gonna transition into steeper rock faces like that. It goes from the brick to the rock faces. and that's going to have to match up with this platform here, and then we're going to have to join sort of in the middle. But she's also got to work up to here, so maybe we'll be able to throw in another support. Seeing this now, Jose, maybe another 16 by 16 here, because yeah, we might want to extend another one there. And then we could probably put some lower ones here so we don't have to use as much supporting brick. So maybe we can just put some of those 16 by 16s along here, you know, 7 or 8 bricks high, and build up onto that so we don't have to use nearly as many pieces, and it's rock solid that way. Yeah, she's got to build up to here, and then we've got to continue building this face as well. So you just got to make sure that all this stuff matches up, and then eventually in the end it's got to match up with the elevated platform that we left down there. So yeah, pretty cool Lego math problem right now, and we're just going to build it one brick at a time. Okay, so I stepped over to this side here after building up more of this, and now I'm starting to join this corner here. Mrs. Bricksie and I have decided that we're going to divide and conquer here in the studio, because we just have like so much mountain building that we need to do, like probably months worth of mountain building, like literally. So like I mentioned in the other video, mountain building is not for everybody. It's not the funnest Lego task, right, Mrs. Bricksie?
Yeah. I have a, it's not that it's like not, it's like unfun. My brain just like has a hard time with it.
It's just because like
it's hard.
Yeah, I sort of have like a vision as to what these mountains are going to be, and I've built a lot of mountains in the past, so I sort of know how it works. So, you know, sometimes it's just easier for one person just to be in charge of this particular project, because you get one person building over here and one person building over here, and sometimes it's hard to make things meet up. And I think it's just going to be easier for me to just continue with this task. And I don't know what it is, but because I've done so much of it, I have sort of like a vision as to how it's going to go together, and I really know how to utilize the parts to build the structure and to make it structurally sound. So Mrs. Bricksie is going to work on a different exciting project while I continue working on the mountain. What are you going to work on, Mrs. Bricksie?
We're going to divide and conquer. I think I'm going to build like a little, I'm going to work on some of the little modulars that we need.
Yeah, because we've been talking about mini modulars for a while. And I think it was a fish and chip shop, right?
Possibly.
Possibly.
Don't hold me to that.
Something like that, maybe? Cool.
Like a little kind of restaurant for by the beach.
For the beach, yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'm just going to continue laying this down brick by brick. You can see, it's funny when you compare like the time lapse to me working in real time, like right now. Obviously, I'm working a little bit slower because I'm talking, but like it's literally, you know, laying down every brick by brick. Sometimes the time lapses like really take away sort of how much time and stuff this actually takes to put together. Like you gotta like get each piece and sort of build it up, and it's just like thousands and thousands of pieces. So yeah, that's where I'm at now. I'm just gonna try and build this corner up. Decided to start over here and work this way and sort of get these two pieces done so they continue what we already have, and then we'll figure out what the foreground is when we get there. Chipping away here, and I just finished having the midday cleanup session. Just trying to make things a bit more ergonomical. So got some parts to my right here in the almond trays, all the light and dark gray, all the colorful support stuff, some more brick and stuff over here, and the big rock panels in the middle, and this is just like quite the view. You get to see one mountain that looks like nearly complete, and the backside of another one that's all fully supported. And yeah, just gotta build up here now. And Mrs. Brixie's over here to my left. She's chipping away on her modular building, which is looking amazing. And I think we're pretty happy that we've decided to just like split up and take on different tasks. Well, everybody, it's been an exciting day with mountains. I started at 9 a.m. It's now 6:30, so how many hours is that? I don't know, 9.5? Yeah, I think so. I don't know, I lose track of time in this place. I look down, I'm like, what? It's already 4? What? It's already 6:30? Oh my gosh, I better have a little Pop-Tart break. Mind you, we did have a little break throughout the day there. Brewed some coffee, ate some broccoli, That rhymed too. That's perfect. Yeah, it's coming along here. I feel like it's taking a little bit longer than the other side, that being the other half that we did. But technically this side is larger by 2 base plates because these sections are like 3 by 2, whereas the other sections are like a right angle. There's 3 base plates. So yeah, we've got 2 more base plates that we're covering here. Also, this side is built more so to like match the other side that we built. So it has to match this mountain, and it also has to match the other side. So it has to be more like customized and more specific. So I feel like that's sort of slowing down the process a little bit more too. This side's all built up here, and it is looking a bit squarish here, but there's a reason for that. That's because this 3 base plate module is going to attach to another mountain, and maybe that mountain will sort of carve inward. But I don't want to have this like be rounded too much, because if I round it too much, for example, if this was to be rounded like this side over here and come approximately 32 studs in, well then we would be way over here, and I only have 3 base plates for the other mountain. So if you come 32 studs in, well then we only have 2 base plates for the other mountain, meaning the mountain beside this one is going to be really shrimpy. But I'm not too concerned about it looking squarish here, because I think once we get the other module up next to it, that being one of the base plates leaned up over there, and I think once we start building that one, we'll be able to round it out. And also once we go about detailing it like we did with this one over here, we'll be able to round it out as well. Working on this face now, just trying to get up to our 16 by 16 tower there. Modified that so these stilts are a lot higher, and we've got a couple levels in there, and then we've got this level here, and that's where the divide is, and then we've got another level there and a smaller one down here, sort of mid-height there, and then this one's going to be a large tower built up to probably the same height as this one here, depending on how high we can come up on this side as well. That's our little valley between the 2 mountains. Maybe we can have another waterfall coming off this mountain and sort of carving through here or something and conjoining with the water over there. But we can have water coming down this side and water coming down that side. We could have water coming down any side that we want. All of them if we truly wanted to. And I got to think about framing in a cave on this side, because this side's facing the countryside. So maybe once I get up to here, I'll have to build a hole for a cave or something like that. This is a daunting task. I see why Mrs. Bricksie sort of tapped out on it. It is a daunting task that seems to take a long time, but you know what? I'm truly having a lot of fun with it. Time really does just sort of slip away when you're doing this type of work here. Like you just sort of get laser focused, you got all your parts laying around, and you just sort of build and do whatever works, you know? Just sort of do what must be done, and whatever works, not really a plan of any sort, just sort of making the plan off the top of my head and having fun with it, you know? That's exactly it. I'm going to eat this Pop-Tart and evaluate where I'm at tonight. So, of course, what do I do at the end of the day? Well, I clean up. I feel like I sorted, I don't know, 4 or 5 times today. I just like working in a clean environment. And when you're building mountains, it can get messy pretty quickly. The next thing I did after sorting everything was brought up all the mountain modules. So they were on the ground. I wanted to get them all up here so that we could visualize what this is going to look like. They're not perfectly seamless right now just because there's different heights amongst the tables. There's like little table gaps, so I can't get it perfectly snug, but once we place them in the city, those gaps will go away. But there we go, we got the smaller mountain and then the larger mountain. After cleaning up and putting the mountains up here, I decided to continue building a little bit. Put in the next platform right here on this module, which we constructed from scratch today. So that never existed at the beginning of this video, as you saw. And neither did this one here. So that giant chunk was all constructed today as well. And in addition to putting the next little platform in, which we'll build up to, and then continue to build up from there, just like we did with this one over here, I also continued filling in this gap here. And I tried to make this side very textured. So for example, it sort of bulges out here and then goes in, and then bulges out again, and then goes in again, and then bulges out again, and then sort of tapers inward. So it's not just like a flat wall, although what's making it look sort of flat is the fact that I want to get up to this height. And we only have like 32 studs to do it. So there's only 32 studs, one base plate to get up to this height. So it's got to be pretty like vertical. And what we can do with a lot of these spaces is invert them. We can use the large inverted slopes when we get around to the slope detailing and start inverting this stuff to give it a different texture and try and round it out with the slopes as well. Now, something else that I'm not doing is making a mountain road. My thought process when we get the Mountain View Observatory on the top there is I'm going to make this a helicopter access only Mountain View Observatory. And I think we're going to be able to build a really cool story around that. We can actually craggle some transparent pieces together and have them go off the deck of the Mountain View Observatory. And then we can put a helicopter way up here above the Mountain View Observatory so we get even more height, and we can have people or minifigures rappelling in. And I think that would be super cool. I'm gonna have to make sure I craggle some stuff though, because I got a drone that flies around and that would love to, or it might knock it over. So yeah, when we get around to doing that, I think it's gonna be a really cool story. So in addition to the caves, which I know are highly wanted, unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to do a mountain road just because it has to be so vertical to get up there. And if I want to do a mountain road, I feel like that would take away from the height aspect that we're trying to achieve. But I think if we finesse a cool story with a helicopter and somebody rappelling in, I think it would be really cool. I think that'll sort of work out nicely. We can put trails right to the top though. There can be a trail going up there. And also mountain climbing. We already have one mountain climber who's building the unconstructed mountain. And there's something else that I wanted to mention, but I can't even remember what it was. I can't even remember. Either way, my mind is a bit fuzzy because it's getting pretty late now and we've been constructing mountains all day. I remember what I was going to say now. It was in regards to the snow line. So yeah, the snow line is right there on this mountain, and as you can see, it doesn't match on this mountain at this particular point. But our plan to create the snow line is to do all the brick building in white, because right now we're panel building and brick building. But for example, here's a panel, this is a brick. So if we just swapped all this out for white, well, then we'd have a combination of white and dark gray. And then we can go ahead and slope detail it in white using all of our slopes on top of the rock panels. So then it's not gonna be like 100% white, but it will be snow cap in white because they don't have the rock panels in white. And I don't feel like brick building all of this because it has to start like right here. So maybe be brick building like a foot, which would be crazy. It would look like this, right? If it was all brick built. And I don't think that looks as good as this per se. But I think if we blend in a combination of white brick and the dark gray panels, and then we slope detail it with white, then it's gonna be all good. It'll be hunky-dory, right? And we are accumulating all of our white bricks. We're going through and grabbing them all, trying to sort them out. So we've got to go through some of these drawers and pull out all the white. Also, we can use the white 1x2s, which we have a lot of, and we can go through our brick bin, which we've been sorting, and pull out all the white as well. And then we can locate all of the white slopes. So that's how we're gonna do the snow detail for the taller mountains. I think that's all gonna work out. So as you know, it's getting late at night. I wanna address something. I tried to be at home and tuck my kids in every night. It unfortunately doesn't happen every night. For example, tonight, getting a little distracted by like mountain building and creating this video, and I've still gotta edit it. So I wasn't able to physically tuck in my kids tonight, but luckily we live in a world where we have like FaceTime. So I do, when I stay here late at night, I do FaceTime them for like 45 minutes and, you know, say goodnight to them and read them books through a phone, which is cool that we're able to do that in this day and age. We have the technology. But yeah, I know someone's gonna say, hey, you should be at home tucking your kids in and stuff. I definitely try. Also, I did it yesterday and the night before, and tomorrow's Halloween. I'm gonna be spending more hours with them tomorrow because it's Halloween. We're gonna have a great time. So I just wanted to try and get more of this done here tonight. So yeah, everybody, I hope you enjoyed our little update. I cannot wait to see this mountain project progress and eventually see these mountains in the Lego city. It is going to be a slow and steady process, that's for sure. It's not Mrs. Bricksie's cup of tea, so I've got to sort of handle all of the base construction, but when we get around to detailing it, she is going to help with that. So that'll be good. Like when it comes to laying the thousands of slopes, she's going to help with that aspect of it, but I will be doing the base construction for all of them. But actually is better that way because she can work on other Lego city projects and sort of make videos behind the scenes, because my plan is just to keep hammering out these mountains until they're done. So if I were to make, you know, content on mountains for 3D days straight, it wouldn't be any good. So I think it's better that Mrs. Bricksie and I sort of divide and conquer, so then we can offer more diverse content on the channel and get different projects going in the Lego city at the same time. So I think it's going to be awesome. Everybody, I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't like, subscribe, and stay tuned. Have a great day. Bye for now.